There we go. Good evening. Sound is now there. Can you hear me? I should. Yes. I should start it because I'm going to have to edit it. So I'll just start it like, good evening. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. make myself look professional. It's saying something. It says on here, it says, please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough, which can cause buffering. Which I have no idea what that means because it's exactly the same setup as I have always used. So you can hear me. Can you see me? That's the key thing. So yeah, it says current status of the stream is poor. But, you know, what can I do about that? So I'm going to refresh and see if that changes. So, no, it still says it's poor. But there we go. So good evening, all. Hopefully I'm not buffering. That would be the, you know, where suddenly I'm here and then I'm over here and then I'm over here and then and it's what's happening. I think it might be because I put the frequency are the frequency the latency between when I'm speaking and when it gets to you, I put it as ultra low because last time I did it a couple of weeks ago, there was quite a few seconds, so I can react quickly. But if it's perfect, then you know maybe YouTube's doing that. So a couple of things. This is new. This part of a slight change. So on YouTube, are doing a lot of changes, and one of them is more into the community tab. And there's I don't know how it works, but I can put polls out there and information, and it'll come up. I don't know if you get to see that, and I've said that some things are slightly changing. One because of time and how much time I can put into like making, especially the roundup video. Another into trying to reach more people, and this is about subscribers because this channel's gone far beyond my expectation. But it's trying to reach people and connect with people. You do have to play the game with YouTube to follow the algorithm. And you know how many times it's told me it's YouTube is do lives. One of the big things at the moment is do lives. But if we want to reach more people, we have to play the game at YouTube. So there are ads on here. I set them every 16 minutes. But you know, when I think about these things, if YouTube are going to push channels, which ones are they going to push? They're going to be the ones who say, yeah, I'll put ads on, or the ones who say, no, I won't. Because they want people watch time, absolutely, but they also want to make money. So bear with us on that. Hopefully it won't be, there you go, interrupted by a pizza advert. So I don't know, this is kind of experimental. If it gets really bad, we'll stop. You can set them. I thought 16 minutes was fine, but just tell me what the effect is, because I did have a little not quiz, but a little thing pop up and ask, hey, YouTube literally asked me before I came on, hey, you don't put adverts on, why? I said, because it annoys people, that's why. But it's trying to follow the real algorithm to reach people. Like I say, it's not about subscribers. I got far more than I ever thought I would. The other thing, so things that are changing. Well, I hope you enjoy your adverts. But by the way, I really hope they're appropriate. Does it come me alongside an advert, so you don't lose me off the screen? You just have us side by side. If that's the case, I don't expect a lot of people here tonight because this is something we'll build up. Yeah, keep them topical. Maybe we should get you to name the adverts that come up. That'll tell us a lot about you guys. So we do have to play the game with YouTube. So what I announced this week, if you didn't see it, is the roundup, which I do, and I enjoy doing. It takes an awful lot of time to do on it every Friday. Well, it takes my Friday morning, because I work Friday afternoon and Friday evening, and it takes my whole morning. to research and record and edit. It's not a huge amount of time, but what I'm finding is the roundup isn't watched as much as the others, the single topic videos, but it is really appreciated. Really appreciated. So there's one about, it's easier for me to watch, to make single topic videos and get them out, research and get them out, and I can record them whenever. The roundup, I always record on Friday morning, which means I'm very limited. The single topic, I can record general single topic or new single topic. If I record general single topic, I've also always got videos in my back pocket to put out if anything ever gets busy, and there's more flexibility for me. But they tend to get watched more than the roundup. But the roundup is really appreciated. So many people say, you know, oh, really thank you for, because of the roundup, that people are, that I can catch up on all the news and see this. So the roundup will move once a month. What I'm also finding over the past couple of months, actually, and over the summer, the news is boring. You know, sometimes there is there's not news. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel to try and get something interesting. Now, if I did it once a month, I can get some good news as well. But the single topic videos are watch more. The other thing is, I did see an American guy, you know, going, it hurts your channel when you get bad videos. You don't get as much reach. And if we're trying to think about reach, those videos that aren't watched, it kind of basically tells YouTube people aren't interested. They're just interested in different things, and it's horrible because you don't want to go down the route, but you also do, because it's a kind of ministry. But you know, you think of it, you know, when you're ministry in a church, aren't you? You go out on a mission, and when you know things just aren't working, you change your tact. It's always tacking that in that. I'm not a sailor, but I know that if you're on a destination, the wind dies down, you tack. And you find where the wind is. And it might look like you're going in a different direction, but you are finding the way to get to the destination you want to. So, but the other thing on top, looking at YouTube, is to do the live stream. So one of the things is to do the live stream. And so that's the one thing that I do every week. I will put a poll out there, because what I did find 2 weeks ago, I did want to do the live stream last week, by the way. But with Remembrance Sunday, I was knackered, to be honest. You take all your energy. It's one of those services because it's more civic, and you got hundreds of people, and you're given more energy than you get back, just because of this type of service. I mean, I had 4 services within like 3.5 hours. So, and it was my birthday next day. So I just was like, you know what, just chill, start it next week. So I did that. So what's it saying here? The current keyframe frequency is 8.2 seconds. Note that indigestion areas could cause incorrect GOP, group of picture sizes. It's beyond me. So anyway, so I'm going to now do the live stream. I've called it Faithful Questions. I was thinking, what can I call it? I thought, well, these are faithful people with questions. Faithful Questions with Rev Dan. Live with Rev Dan. Oh, the research that goes into this is crazy. Honestly, what catches people's attention anyway. But that's what we do, isn't it? So we'll get more single topic videos a couple of weeks, maybe even 3. This week I did 5, but they're 10 minutes, and it's taking a paper from the LLF, the General Synod, and looking at each one of those. YouTube always loves that as well. So I've been doing lots of research into the things, how to make it work. So and also you'll see some other slight changes in how I did the first 30 seconds, no, not even the first 30 seconds, the first 10 seconds of any video are really vital. It's crazy. Now people's attention span has gone down so much, and if your video isn't engaging within the first few seconds, 10, 20, 30 seconds, it's you know, you're fighting an algorithm. So that's where we are. That's a little update. I don't get the stream health thing. I really don't. So let's see, catch up on some questions. So the question will be that I'll put out on a poll. Do you want 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? Because what I found last time when we was on live stream was, if I'm doing this every week, you could go on for 8 and be on for an hour and a half, an hour to an hour and a half, or 2 hours. And is that sustainable? But I found that once I got later into the stream, at like 8:30, 9, more people came. And is it more? So we could do a straw poll now. Is it because more people are more at 9 o'clock? Just, you can go lie in bed or what? But I don't know. I don't know what people do. That will be a question. We could do a straw poll now. So that's a bit of an update. Let's have a drink. And we'll catch up with questions now. We'll see how the adverts go. It will. Mr. Baker has had roast chicken so far. Not in the market for pizza. Oh, right, your pizza advert. No to the ads take your place, at least for me. Okay. This was the first time I've had 2 on my subscriptions streaming at once, but you won out. Oh, right, cool. Well done. Thank you. Well, thank you for supporting as well. And then thank you that you chose me. I feel like I have to do well now. I appreciate daily devotionals too. I worry when I see them with so few views that you might think they go unnoticed and appreciated. I had a really fantastic day today. We had an American guy with his family. He's got 5 kids, bless him. Well, 5 kids. I don't know. I got 2, but 5. Wow. He's on sabbatical and he emailed, I'd like to come to your church and see you. I said, yeah, come up. And we had an impromptu dinner. And he came to the office. And I think you see this view here, but just over there is my daily devotional. I have my other camera just behind me. And I said, in many ways, Rev Dan, this channel is very important. But probably the one that really is important spiritually is that one, is the daily devotionals. No, I enjoy doing them. I just recorded one actually for tomorrow. They take 10 minutes to do. Very simple to record, edit and put up. So they will continue, and I think they'll be there for the future and for people. And really, what do they get? 25 to 35 views each, perhaps. Not many, but in reality, if you think I'm speaking to, some videos get more, right? Some might get less, but I'm talking on average. So they got 30 on average a day. That's a lot more than a lot of Church of England congregations, and that's every day. So, and it also goes out on podcast, and I don't know the podcast statistics, but people listen on podcast as well. So, it could be about 50 people a day, which actually is quite amazing. The roundup is good to widen my knowledge. Yeah, and the roundup is good. That's why I won't get rid of the roundup. But at least I can, and I know it won't be weekly, but the roundup will be really concentrating on the good stories and not just trying to find 5 or 6 stories, but stuff that we can build a narrative around as well. And then I just know that once a month I have to block out part of my day to get that done. But that's not too hard. It is hard on a Friday. But luckily I got our youth club on a Friday evening, so that means I know that I'm working all afternoon and all evening. So it gives me that. We're told, well, not told, but work 3. You got morning, evening, and morning, afternoon, evening. Work 2, have 1 off, and my 1 off is doing the roundup. Mr. Baker, did everyone enjoy this week's maths readings? The first reading is reflected in the Heart of the Heaven Angels lyrics. Is that the lecture readings in Church of England? I didn't preach today for the first time in a long time, so I didn't know too much what the readings were. Francis, did they stop the traffic so you could gather around the Chalfont St Giles for Peace and Water? Yes, they did. They did. We came out. We had all the uniform groups there for the the 2-minute silence and the witness on the street. So we have a service at 10 a.m. more the civic service. Then we go on the street for 11 a.m. and then we have all the uniform groups back for 11:30 for another service. So yeah, they closed the road for that time and we had more people again this year. It's growing, and I said that I've been here 4 years in January, and every year it's just got more and more people. And I said, and bring your kids and bring your grandkids. We can't forget, this is so important. And I think around the country it's growing as well. The remembering when we forget our history, and that's the interesting thing. This guy who came, he's a priest in the ACNA, the Anglican Church in North America, and he was quite amazed. We was talking about evangelicals not knowing the church fathers and stuff like that, and all the heresies and overcoming heresies and how they can creep back into the church, but they've already been dealt with. But if you don't know your history, that's why they come back in. And same with war. Philip, when the CV publish anything, it has to be fodder for the roundup. You know what? I got pushed back. I kept getting pushed back at one point, like, you always talk about the Church of England. And I'm like, I don't want to. It's like, please, like the Church of England to keep you keep giving me news, and I don't want to keep doing the Church of England because they kept doing stuff. But the trouble is, and the thing is, in the news as well, even if it's a smaller denomination, they don't tend to get into the news. The Church of England always will get into the news. But it's also having chop and change. Is this newsworthy, or is this just attacking the church? It's going to help. There's some things that I just don't cover because I think, some of it is non-news as well. It's like, really? You're picking on this? Are you just trying to fill some space or what? It's, yeah. You have to pick and choose. But the Church of England did. It does give you a lot of news there. I'm got to catch up, so I need to move over to that screen so you get my side profile now. I don't know, but Samaritan's Purse UK. Oh, well, there you go. That's very holy. I'll call you 92. I'll get messed up on the letters. Han, welcome back. Sorry to ask, if not too legalistic, but in more old-fashioned traditional times, was the Sabbath day service for the whole day in church, and all secular activity was made to stop by certain customs? No, the service wasn't a whole day, but Sunday you wouldn't. To be honest, I've spoken to people from yesteryear, from when, years and years ago, old people now, who would go to church 3 times a day at different times for either different services or youth or things like that. So Sunday, the shops weren't open. It was not unlike now, but it was in a Sabbath, a rest day. But we didn't do church services. Well, as far as I know, we didn't do church services all day, but as one continuous service. But they did. A lot of people I spoke to said, "Oh, we used to go to church 3 times a day." But then you would, wouldn't you? You'd have your matin service. It's about 11, and then you have your evensong service, and you might have something in the afternoon, which we don't have now. I mean, come on, a lot of people struggle to get people into one service, let alone 3 or 4. But I don't know anyone else's experience. But it just first down after 10 minutes. Reading Malachi, yeah, gospel, yeah. It was the reading about the temple. Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, look how pretty the temple is. It's not going to be here. 92. 92 seems. You're not a number. JC? Not JC. GC sounds. The problem is so many videos are full of waffle, and it's resentful to watch a video that was just a waste of time. That makes people give up quickly. That's the other thing, and that's one thing I changed it, and to be more succinct and to script things more, because I sorry, I had to still message. I'll get to that message. Because you can waffle, and some people like that. And I get seen in the comments like some people, oh, you waffle, and other people, well, that's who you are. But actually, I'm the same with Christian books. You get Christian books like this, and then you kind of go, you could have written it like this. Just get to the point. Stop waffling. And I think it's trying to be who you are. But that's the other thing, right? So if I'm doing more scripted videos and getting the point across and being more succinct and just getting it right, nailing it, then where I can be myself is here on the live and answer questions. So that's the balance. You're not trying to do two things, because what you're trying to do on YouTube. So people said to me when they met me, they said, "Oh, you're so different to on YouTube," and I'm like, "Yeah, of course," because I'm speaking about the news. Like everyone would probably know Trevor McDonald, who's a famous newsreader in here in the UK, and well, not everyone then, everybody in the UK. And of course, he's reading the news. It's very serious. And of course, when people met him, they go, "He's completely different." Yes, when you're doing a certain job, you're acting differently. And so this gives me the opportunity to go, "Hey, I'm a real person," and engage with who I am. And instead of just going, "Oh, you're bigger," or "I don't like you," it's actually coming on and go, "Well, I don't agree with you, but I actually do quite like you." Hopefully that they see the real person behind the videos. So I think my son's just got back, and sorry, I just heard a car outside. The problem, right, Philip, I get back from church after 8, but after 9 I'm ready to crash and burn and ready for Monday. Okay, cool. GC, I can't do it. I gotta find a name. 92. you are a number now. You saw the studio back in January. You did. It's good to have people in here. Francis, I haven't seen an ad yet. That's good. Eloisa, that's the one that I said, "Hi, Dad." Dada. I'm called Dada, Elo, not Dad. Miss Baker, I enjoy Ben Martin's church organs channel on Sunday evening too. Okay. Lee, Wisconsin, sorry, I will catch up on that to get back on this. Remember, right, so for those who might not know, on this screen here, I have, like, it's like that long. And this screen here, it's like this long. So when I don't catch up on this screen, I have to move on to the longer screen to catch up. So I have to look over here. Lee Wisconsin, thoughts on AEOs and bringing the conservative sets back to the CEE by liberalization. AEOs. What's AEOs? I don't know what AEOs. I don't know what AEOs are. Sorry, but I'll answer that. Philip knows that Eloise is there. Miss Baker's frozen. Oh, is my video? This is a problem. I don't know what's happening with the. Okay, so this might freeze. This film, it might freeze. I think the CAB has the same readings as Catholics in the 1970 Mass. Well, but we could do, to be honest. I don't see why they would up and change it too much if it's there. Eloisa, she was in a uniform group at the Remembrance. She's in the guides. She was in the Brownies last year, and she's now in the guides. Philip said Eloisa made a great cup of tea when we popped over. It's very good, see. Kim, thank you for what you do and doing your lives that helped me so much. This is a ministry that God's given me, so I'm really glad I have been able to help. Mr. Baker, Malachi 4:12, but for you who hear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall fly with its healing and wings. Oh, someone's just texting me as well. Right, where am I? Okay, quick. Jago. Hello, Rev Dan. I'm a Hong Konger who migrated to UK. I read news a few days ago about a pastor wrote John 3:16 on a van, being reminded by police it could be a hate speech. In some context, I am shocked. I'm not shocked. Don't be shocked. Of course, I'm not surprised. Well, maybe it could be shocked. Don't be surprised, for sure. Don't be surprised. It could be shocked, but no, not now. Of course, but again, what's the reading today? There's going to be wars and rumours of wars, and you'll be persecuted because of me. We have to expect this. We have to expect this. If we want Jesus to come back, it's going to get a lot worse. So, and I want Jesus to come back, so we have to suffer through this. So, of course, we're going to get John 3:16 written on a van in the police saying that. You know, the sad thing is my son wants to become a police detective. And he really, because he wants to help people. Being a police detective, obviously, is solving crime that's really happened. But, he really wants to help once that's happened. Better it not happen, but, the world is broken. And with all that's happening, it's like, in the police, it's really awful. It's like, do you really want to go in the police now? Connor, if I remember rightly, trends show Church of England is going to be empty financial and viable by 2050. If that's the case, how could we return the hierarchy to Orthodox before then? So yeah, if nothing changes, this is data that came out a couple of years ago. So all the old denominations, including a Catholic and Anglican and Baptist, if they carry on now the trajectory they're on, this data was saying when they will become extinct, really, that they'll finish. And one of them was so the Church of England's in the 2050s, I think. Well, there's one, as I always keep saying, God sorting this church out. He's not done with the Church of England. I don't believe that he actually is. As much as other people will go on about the Church of England, he isn't. There are so many faithful people in the Church of England, and I keep hearing it as well. And since I said, I will stay in the Church of England and fight from within, and and call people back and strengthen that faithful remnant, that we will stay strong, then there is hope. And I think actually the Church of England needs to get smaller, and it needs to get more biblical. So I don't mind the Church of England getting smaller, as it were, and more biblical, and starting again through a faithful remnant. Because what has the Church of England done in the past 25 years, except for lost 500,000 people attending, the congregants? There's a lot of people to, what are we doing? But also, apart from that, God's on his throne. And if God's still involved in the Church of England and any denomination, and it's still growing, and there are faithful people in there not turning away, then, the problem is not ours in one way. We just trust in God. We just keep preaching the gospel where we are. That's where he's placed us, in the local church, and we keep doing what he's called us to do, go preach the gospel. We are in a small church, in a small village, but it is growing, and we got a good steady congregation, and all we do is we do what we do. And I know that there are so many people out there who need the gospel. Well, everybody does. Not many will respond, but we just keep doing what we're going to do. So if the Church of England will go down, then that's because God's done with the Church of England, but I don't think he is, or many of the denominations. But I'd rather Jesus come back before 2060, or 2050. Church services today: 1 BCP and 2 FIEC. I forgot what it's called. I know the FIEC. Forgot what it means. And thanks for the reply, Rev Dan. Encouraging to hear despite the decline of modern era. One of I was speaking to this guy today from the States. He was really encouraged. He came from the States thinking and hearing about how bad the Church of England was. And he's come, and he's been here a month, and he said, one thing I'm going to take back is I'm really encouraged about how gospelly strong that the Church of England is in so many local churches. And it is. It really is. There are really good people. A lot of them might not have, be well known, but they just do faithfully what they do locally. And there are. So, and he was really encouraged by that, because the news doesn't say that. It doesn't get out. Maybe that's one thing that, I might start talking about and saying, we are here and we are strong, this is what is happening. So don't worry, apart from God being on the throne. Francis, fasting communing was common, but that was when the Sunday service started no later than 9:30. Oh, so that's back to Hannah's question. Eloise, we learnt about John 3:16 in Sunday school today. They learnt about John 3:16. It was very good. Mr. Bakey, you're speaking a language, you're speaking in tongues in your Latin there. Crypto advert. Oh, sorry about that. 2 adverts so far. I don't know when that was written. So every 16 minutes. I might put them every 32. It's kind of like, okay, YouTube, we're tipping the hat, but we're not going to do too far. I can't change it now, but I'll do that for next week. Kostna Hang, evening Kostna. I'm glad that you can join us. Thank you for joining. It's always good to have newbies joining us. Eloisa, Hako did get back. That's not good. It's not good English. Hako is back. That's my son. We call him Hako. His name is Jacobo. For those who know me, I'm married to a Colombian, and so Jacobo is Jacob in Spanish, and so we call him Hako because J is H in Spanish. Canon Paul Hamilton. Hi Dan, are you going to ARC next year? Yes, I am. I will. I haven't got my ticket yet, but I will be going. More for the networking. I find the networking's amazing at ARC. I went to Less Talks last year, but I will be going to ARC. Are you going? If you are, we'll connect on the app and we'll meet up. That'd be cool. Mr. Baker, the Latin above was the prayer over the offerings in my missal today. We did the English version, but you like to do the Latin version now, aren't you, in the Catholic Church? Jago, then I further searched more information, found the Archbishop said Lord's Prayer opening may be problematic, completely shot, familiar not with the UK work culture. Yes. And so when I go back to the non-news thing, and a lot of people jump on this. So I think from my memory, I think what the Archbishop of York was saying, and as much as I really don't agree with him, I think what he's trying to acknowledge is the reason why he said it'd be problematic is because people have been abused by their father or something like that, or a male, but especially their father. When you come to introduce the Lord's Prayer and they don't know the Lord's Prayer, you say, Our Father who art in heaven. That, you can only imagine that a father raping a daughter or a son even. That, having to say that for them is quite difficult. And to be honest, I think that's what he was saying in that context. And in that context, I could understand that. It is something you would have to pastorally sit down with a person and say, our Heavenly Father is not your Father. Our Heavenly Father loves you. But the association with the word Father, whether Heavenly Father or Earthly Father, is a thing. And so I think, to be honest, that's what he was talking about, rather than being a woke thing. But the trouble is, and this is where he would have the problem, is that because he does speak a lot of, with the LLF, and he's for same-sex blessings, for same-sex marriage, and a lot of the other stuff, then anything else he says will also automatically get put into that category and misinterpreted. So we have to be true to our word, and to the gospel and to the Bible. And so when we speak clearly, people hear what we say. And so I think in that case, and he was saying something which kind of made sense, but people will hear only how they will hear him. Do you get what I mean? I think hopefully you get what I mean. Eloisa, typed wrong. Oh, good. Dada, yes. Plowing through the word. Hey, Dan. Sorry, new to your channel. Good evening. Did you see much mileage in C of E? Excuse my ignorance of your story. Thoughts on Amy? Yeah. I think Amy's great. I think Amy is doing great things. So my thing now, where I am, I've done a couple of videos on this, so I won't explain it too much. You can, because it always helps the channel as well. Why I'm staying in the CV. So I did one about me staying in the Church of England, and biblical reasons why as well, looking at the Bible. And so the church. So again, going back to this American guy I met today, he was in the Episcopal Church in the States, and he was saying they basically said you have to do gay marriages. You haven't got a choice. Now, if the Church of England said that, I'm off. I can't do that, right? It's what did Jordan Peterson say when they were telling him that he had to do certain speak a certain way. It was, it's forced coercion or something. I don't know what it was, but if you're telling me to do it and it's against my beliefs, then I can't stay. But they're not in the Church of England. I'm very much independent here, to a certain extent, and it's my choice whether to do same-sex blessings or not. And of course I won't do it. So the church isn't causing me to sin. But what I'm doing in the church is and many of us should do this, is we can still be in touch with integrity, still doing our ministry. And yes, we do see drift away from the Bible, but we, as in any church, call them back. If you go through the New Testament and even the Old Testament, Paul and even Jesus not calling people out of the church, not saying just leave. It's actually change your ways, call people back to repentance. And that's where we are at the moment. But I also acknowledge in all good integrity that some people, different red lines at different places. So some people's red lines are being crossed and they say, well, I can't in good conscience stay. So I have done a video and I've recorded it. I haven't released it yet, of people who leave. Because of course I'm saying in a video, I'm staying and I think people should stay. But people do leave, and I have talked about that. And I said, look, if you leave, then go to AME or ANE, the Anglican network in Europe, which is the head of the umbrella. What do you call it? There's three. You got the Anglican Convocation, you got the Anglican Mission in England, and you got the newer one. I forgot what there's 3 letters as well. The Nigerian lot, and the Anglican network in Europe, and just go there, and they're good. And they are good, and their structures are more integral than ours. So I would say, if anybody felt on good conscience to leave, then leave. But I prefer people to stay and stay with integrity in the Church of England until we can't. But I don't think that will ever come, because they can't force us to do stuff. But there are more. So I think Anglican network in Europe have got 100 churches across Europe. In the UK, I think they got about 90 in the UK, 10 in Europe, I think. And that's good, and they are growing. But we've still got more faithful Orthodox vicars in the Church of England than that. There are still more Orthodox, and it's just whether. Remember, in the church, and the way that the Church of England is, the actual power is in the local church, not in the national church. The Archbishop can't say anything to me to tell me what to do. Can't say, Dan, do this, Dan, do that. They can give me advice and stuff, but I don't have to listen to them. There's no direct order. And so you've got the national church and the local church. And I think we need to re-establish the local church as well. And where that kind of perceived power, it's all God's power, really, not our power, is. And so I got utter respect for the Amy, and Ace, and the other one. For me, it's not called to leave yet. I will leave if I'm compelled to do something that I can't do. AEOs. Oh yes, alternatives. So this is stuff that you guys don't get to see. So if I'm recording, and sometimes I just can't get stuff right, I have to go back. And then I'll do these. I'm editing, and there's me just going. So it's a strange world that I live in. Alternative Episcopal oversight. So I have to get your question back, which I lost. Thoughts on alternative Episcopals bringing the Conservative sects back to the CV by deliberalisation. So this is well, if the, so what do I think? It's difficult because you can have alternative Episcopal oversight, or you can ask for it, but it's nothing legal. You still legally are with your bishop, your diocesan bishop, the ordinary that they're known as, for the legal stuff, the safeguarding and all those legal things. So spiritually, you can get your oversight somewhere else, and a lot of people do. But you're still tied legally to your ordinary, because that's what we are. That's what we, as the Church of England, we are. And so, would it bring back the sorry, I got to go back up again. Oh, I lost it. Bring back the conservative sex back to the CV by deliberalisation. You know what? And I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. So I think what we got to do is we got to concentrate on our parish where God's placed us, and we got to grow our churches. And I said this a couple of weeks ago with Redeemed Zuma, who's an American Presbyterian. And he's got this thing, Operation Reconquista, which is basically, let's keep our churches growing, those who are Orthodox. And when the liberal churches die, which they eventually will, we go and retake over the churches. Now, in the Church of England, it is... there is... sorry, I just got a text. Pops up on my screen as well. It's harder in the Church of England to do that just because of the way it works. And in some denominations, you could do that. But I would say what we need to do is concentrate where God's placed us, and then find out oversight if we need it, wherever we are, deal with the legal stuff, and the church will come back that way. I don't think I'm answering the question, really. I don't think I'm answering your question. The trouble, because I think the trouble with alternative episcopal oversight, it's nothing legal. It's just more spiritual. So it will help people in their ministry where they feel that they can't get oversight from their bishop, but it won't bring the Conservatives back in that way. I think stuff like the Alliance will, depend on what the Alliance is going to do now. Now it seems LLF is taking a different turn, but we'll have to wait and see. So I think the Alliance is the great hope for the Church of England going forward. Depends on what happens there. Now I've got to catch up down here. Right, Eloise, never thought of getting your own channel. I'm piggybacking on Dad's. Oh my, Eloise, every time I say I'm doing a live stream, she's like, can I come on? Can I come on? She wants to get on, honestly. She's just like, she's not shy, that girl. Paul Hayhurst, what advice do you have for the situation I'm in? I'm going through discernment at an Anglo-charismatic church, but also like reverence and liturgy as well from high church. I feel a bit muddled. Yeah. If you're going through discernment, and you said, God, use me wherever you want, you might be used in a place where you're not expecting. But God's saying, look, don't worry, Paul. I know your gifts and talents. I know your personality. And this is the place that you go minister in. And it might be an absolute different tradition than you like worshipping in. But, if you said, I'm going to I want to be used by you, you might go into a different worship. So that would be one piece of advice. And to be honest, the other thing is when you become a church leader, there's nothing to say that you can't have two of those different services. You have a high Anglo-Catholic type service, or not so high, but I say that because some Anglo-Catholic services are so higher than the Catholics. But you have something like that, a traditional service, and then you can have a contemporary service as well. That's a gift. So you might do one and you might not get much out of it, and you spiritually, as it were, but you also got the other one to do. And that's what happened in my church, and we started a more contemporary service, but it just didn't take off. And actually what was interesting, it was the traditional service that took off and started growing when we took communion back every week. So what I would say, stick with it. Don't worry about getting muddled. Just stick with your calling and your discernment, because honestly, you just don't know where God's going to send you. And look, I'm doing this YouTube. I never knew I was going to do YouTube like this. I always had an interest in YouTube, but I never thought I'd be commentating on news and things like that. So you just never know. Never know. Miss Baker, next Sunday is last Sunday in ordinary time. Our Lord Jesus Christ, King of the universe. Christ is King, yes. I always like Christ is King. Some people don't celebrate those, and like Bible Sunday and stuff. I think it's important too. And maybe local church is the way ahead. That's thanks for the info. It is the local church, and understanding that the local vicar should understand part of the life of. I think part of the problem with the Church of England, the vicar moved on too quickly, tended to move on too quickly. The thing is like the average is like 7 years in a parish, but you're not marrying people, they're not having babies and baptizing and getting to know them as they go through school, that life cycle. And so when you get to know your local parish and all the people and what's happening, and you're involved on these groups, and it takes time. So I've been here 4 years. To imagine that I'm leaving in 3 years, I'm like, I haven't really got into it yet, I mean, the real life of the parish. And so when that happens, that's where real growth starts happening. And I think vicars should be there. I think they said it's only after 15 years really that you might see growth, but like real differences after 15 years. So Eloise, I want to have my own channel. Maybe I will. She will one day, guaranteed, honestly. And she'll just smash. She'll get so many subscribers, and she'll be like, "Oh, I got more than you. See, you should let me have you. You should have been let me on your channel. You would have got more subscribers." Yeah, that's what she'll do. Cosner. Are you going to the Surprising Rebirth Conference this coming Saturday with Glenn Scrivener and Justin Briley? No. And I really want to. And it's really bad because I was supposed to. Really naughty. I'm sure Glenn won't watch this, but I met Glenn the other day. I met Glenn at the art conference. And I said, I really want to come down and meet you and see your studio and stuff. And he's like, yeah. And he texted me. And I saw the text come through. And then I was busy in something, a meeting or something. And then it just went down and down the list. And then I got to like the day before and I was like, oh, Glenn texted. And it was to go the next day. But I had an event in the school that I needed to attend. So I text him and go, oh, I'm so sorry. And I really want to go on Saturday. But I can't. It's sold out a long time ago, and I think it'd be really rude of me to go, oh, could I come? I'll carry something, I'll do something. I'll clean your shoes. So I just have to miss it. But I think it's going to be a really good event. Really good. It sounds really exciting. And the thing is, it got sold out before I even knew. I think I saw it a month or two ago before. And I didn't even see any advertising, which is really a success. But enjoy it. Oh, yeah, so gutted. Maybe I get invited. Maybe I'll get big enough to be invited next year or whenever they do it. I haven't met Justin Briley yet. I've met his camera guy at the ARC conference, but Justin was always busy, so I kept bumping into his camera guy. He's a really lovely guy. Powerful Gospel next week. Luke, truly I say to you today, you will be with me in paradise. Oh, is that it? Am I preaching next week? No, I'm not preaching next week. That's why I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? I don't know, so I'm not getting into the sermons. Someone else is preaching. Did you meet Kosang? Did you meet Paul Van der Kay at ARC last year? So, yes. So this is the story. Paul Van der Kay. He's a big YouTuber in America. So a Christian YouTuber. So we went to this evening meal, and it was a big round table, and he was literally sat opposite me, and I didn't know who he was. I had no idea who he was. And so because he sat opposite me, you can only have conversations with people next door to you in a bit, like half the table if you cut it in half, but not the other side. So I just never spoke to him. I didn't know who he was. The next day, I saw Glenn Scrivener walking through the art conference. So I'm like, Glenn, how you doing? Catching up with him. And he's like, I'm just going to go off to do this thing called The Estuary with a guy called Paul Van der Kay. And I was like, okay, so we catch up. He said, actually, do you want to come? I said, well, yeah, I'm not doing anything. So we went off, and as I went up to meet Paul, I recognised him from the night before, and he recognised me. He's like, you and I was like, yeah, I'm here, I do YouTube. I do YouTube as well. I was like, I didn't know. So I met him. He's a really nice guy. So I met him at ARC conference. It's silly. Unless you know, you know. It's crazy, you know, in this world. Before, when it was only used to be TV, people used to be really famous, and then you can have people who got like 2 million subscribers, and you have no idea that, you know, they do gardening. If you don't do gardening, you just don't know who they are. You know, it's crazy. And that's the funny thing with YouTube now. They're like, own your niche, own it, own it. Paul Van der Kay, hello, this is Paul. Is that what he says? Oh, is that what he says? It's funny with Paul Van der Kay, because of course I subscribe to him, so it pops up every so often, his videos, and the titles are like not clickbait or anything like that. They're just weird. But he's, you know, a lot of people tune into him. Francis, would say that the feminine aspect of God is expressed in the Holy Spirit? I was speaking to, again, the trouble is when I speak to someone, it's always in my mind. Yeah, speaking about truth and grace, which are masculine and feminine in one way than the other. My wife is more graceful. I'm not saying that is just the standard, you know, but it is. You know, nurses tend to be females, and they're more pastoral and things like that. So I would say there are elements of that. Connor, I'm a training LLM in CV, despite the apparent wokery included in training. I plan to be a faithful Orthodox voice in the ministry of the CV, despite thinking I'll be ousted. Prayers and advice. You won't be ousted. You just have to be a faithful voice and trusting in God. You know, if he's a calling, and go through that. I think the Church of England really do. I really do believe this. You know, they really want to hold people together. They want to hold on to the church. I don't think it's realistic. You know, like the middle ground. Let's all be one happy family, and we can believe in two different doctrines. And I don't believe that can happen. But in that, there is I think there's a willingness to try and work together and work things through. And unless you, and I haven't really had a lot of pushback, but I know, you know, there is some, and I have experienced things, but there is accommodation, and you are free to speak your voice. You just have to be careful in what you say. But I would always say, people will say, "Oh, but there's silence in you." No. When I worked in retail, when I was on the shop floor, there's certain things I couldn't say. I could be in the office and I could say a certain thing, but I couldn't say it on the shop floor. There's just rules. There's rules everywhere. I think if anybody does any job, you're not going to be able to act in a certain way. So, of course, you'll have that there. But I think, there's they're trying to find how can people stay and have that voice. So I think, carry on training as an LNM. You might find it difficult in parts, but Jesus said, anyway, in the world, people hate you because of me. And if you're going to stand on the Bible, then so be it. That's what it is. We just have to expect that. But keep going. J go 6. Yes, I get what you mean. I really appreciate you have a live Q&A prize platform to seek truth. Good. I'm not. I'll try to answer what I know. I might not answer the question the way you want, but this is a live. When I said to this American guy that I do a live stream, he's like, oh, "Wow, that's difficult." You never know what's going to come, but I hope things are helpful. But if they're not, I hope they fire things in your brain to go, actually, it wasn't, but that's got me thinking. I'm not the finished article here. I don't have it all together, but we'll get through. Eloisa, to anyone who types my name back, it's Eloise Ah. Eloise Ah. Yes. So not Eloise, Eloise Ah. So she'll be very particular. Han, sorry to ask. Never be sorry to ask, Han. And I'm pointing, and that's rude. Naughty. Sorry. Shouldn't have pointed. Don't worry about asking questions. It's literally in the title. Faithful questions now. Do you feel that the media, be it from TV to computer to current digital smartphones is the reason why such abuses in the family happens in this recent modern era. I think, yeah, I think it contributes. I think there is a contribution. I think there's a lot of dark stuff out there on the internet which doesn't help people, which is accessible, which sends people down the wrong track. I think there's still always broken people and abuse that's happened anyway, but I think there are things that are not acceptable. Just if you take cinema, when I was a kid, there were films that were rated 18, right? And I see stuff now that's rated even 12, but definitely 15, that when I was a kid would not be 15, would be 18. And when I was a kid, and I'm talking, I was at primary school. So say I was 8 to 10, maybe. My brothers were older, and they went around friends to watch Rambo First Blood Part 2, right? And I was locked out the house, at the friend's house, a couple of doors away from me. And I really wanted to see this, and locking the door made me really want to see it more. They closed the curtains and they were like, you cannot watch this because this is like an 18. And I think they weren't, my eldest brother's 8 years older than me, so he's probably around that age, he's probably about 16 or something, 17. But they stopped me watching it because they were like, you're too young for this. This is not good. And now you look at Rambo First Blood Part 2, and it's compared to what other things are, it's completely it's not harmless, but you know what I mean. But I also in that had the protection of my brother saying, you're not watching this. It's not good for you. You have to stay outside. I don't think we have that anymore, especially on the phones. People can just get anything on the phone and there's no protection. So I think it adds and feeds into that and that darkness and makes things normal. The amount of, there were so many films that are just, I like action films, but there's just so many, it's just violence, and the violence gets more and more and more. And so, yeah, I do think that adds to it and to people's mental health and things like that. But Mr. Baker says, I think it's hard to know. The internet makes things more visible for good or ill. Yeah. Han continue in regards to the horrific abuse that when children could not say the Lord's Prayer due to their own father at home, tragically being a vicious monster. Sorry, not meant to be to a wound. Yeah, and this is the thing. It's a reality. I think with that one, that there's just horrible. But the one thing that changes that is Jesus, and people come to know Jesus. Mr. Baker, O2 commercial just now. Managed to skip. I'm hitting hit the like button. Hit the like button. That's another thing. Please hit the like button. There's only it's telling me only 14 likes. I know there's 29 people, but there's 14 likes. That's my maths. That's less than half. Likes help. Oh, it's gone at 15. Dislikes help. Likes help. 31 watching, only 9 likes. Oh, well done. 15 likes. Eloisa, can I go on? Kim, you encouraged me to stay in my local church. I'm glad. Like I said, I don't think there is. Oh, that's what the knock on my door was. I don't think there is a like I say, a reason to leave just yet. But I wouldn't want people to stay for the wrong reasons and with integrity. I mean, like if I left, there's definitely no reason to stay. So, but I also know if I left. Not saying that I'm Mr. Great or anything like that, but I know that a lot of people would leave their church if I left. There's a responsibility now, which is crazy. So, oh, my friend's texting me. Alternative Episcopal oversight. Right. Sent me a large chat, but I can't read just now. Sorry. Philip, to stop LLF, do Conservative members need to get elected to the House of Laity now? Yes. Yeah. So the next big battle, and I did a video of this, so it was quite interesting. So we're going to have general synod elections in 2026, and it's basically going to come down to numbers. And I don't think the Liberals will get the numbers on there to affect any change, because with the LLF you're going down the B2 route, which means you've got to get 2/3 majority in each of the houses, and it just won't. You won't get that in each of the houses. You only need one house to fail, and it won't go through. But that will be a big battle. Sadly, it'll be what this kind of general synod is, because people went on there, and I get to see for the clergy in the Diocese of Oxford, the not their manifestos, but the reason why they wanted to go on. The majority of them just spoke about LLF. And I'm like, the Church of England is so much more than this. And if you're going on to the General Synod, I want you to stand for good reasons and have good experience, not just tell me which side you are. And the trouble is, you end up with a one-trick pony. It's like, oh, you're going to vote for it or not. I'm going to vote for you because you're not going to vote for it. I'm going to vote for you. You're going to vote for it. No. And so the danger is you end up with a weak General Synod. I'm not saying that all the people are bad. I'm just saying, if that's people go on there for their vote on one issue, then what else can you bring to the table? If they can't bring anything to the table, then naturally you're going to end up with a weaker synod. But we are, and it's being forced that way as well. So the next General Synod election will be that, but we need good people on there, both laity and clergy. So people say, would you go on General Synod? I wouldn't get, trouble is I'm too well known, I won't get elected. Yeah, but we do need people to get on there. Right, I was catching up. Third at 8, okay, third at 8:47. I think I'm going to go to 32 minutes and see that on the adverts. Mr. Baker, if Jesus and St. Paul doesn't agree, beware the wolves in sheep's clothing. And Mr.